Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Team 360 call. Today is Monday, February 1st. I can't believe we're already in February. I'm excited to see all of you on here. This is going to be a great call tonight. First off, I'm going to start with some announcements because there's so much going on, and I did kind of a lot of posts this weekend, so you guys are probably a little overwhelmed, and I want to make sure nobody misses anything. So I'm going to go over some announcements, and then we're going to hop into the call. I'm going to do an interview with Kirsten, and I'll give you a little background on why I'm interviewing her when we get started on that. So first thing, Team Cup started today, which is super exciting. Make sure that you're talking to your cup members that are on your team. Don't just leave it to the leader. Make sure you're reaching out and supporting each other. And also be posting in our team page, you guys. The team page is yours too. It's not just mine. So post encouragement, post questions, like you guys are really good at that. We have a very good team. I always tell everybody I feel so blessed because everybody is so encouraging and positive and really just wants to help people. And that's really what our business is. So I appreciate it. But definitely post your Team Cup stuff you got going on in there. And don't be afraid to do a little competition. Nobody's afraid of a little competition between the cup teams. But I'm excited because I think it'll be a really good motivator for February. And they have some cool prizes. And who doesn't want to win a nice prize? I know I like free swag. Next thing I want to talk about is Summit. Make sure that if you're I know we've got a lot of new coaches, which is awesome. Make sure you get on the wait list for Summit. Yeah, there's a wait list, but get your booty on there because you never know what can happen. There's a lot of people that have last minute things come up and they can't go to Summit, or they get pregnant and their babies due at Summit, or whatever it may be. So make sure that you put your name on the wait list. And then also, if you're wanting to go to the Dominican, put your name on the wait list. It's free to put your name on the wait list. If you get off the wait list, it's $300 a deposit, but maybe, you'll have that $300 at the time. So don't just give up on that. I would still put your name on there because the cruise is coming up for this year's Success Club trip, and people are literally getting off the wait list right now. There's a ton of people that just came off. And are actually going to get to go on the cruise that didn't think they had a chance. So how cool is that? And I was a waitlister on the cruise a few years ago in 2013, and I thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to get on that cruise. And I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't like cruises. I had a bad experience with one, and I'm like, I'm not going to go. And then I got off the wait list. And I'm like, oh no, because I could just say I'm on the wait list. And you guys, that has been my favorite Success Club trip so far, and I've been on 4. It was absolutely amazing, and I'm so looking forward to the cruise this time. We had the best time. Beachbody chartered the whole boat. They treat you so well, so don't count yourself out. The Dominican's going to be amazing, so get your booty on there. So make sure Summit and the Dominican for that Success Club trip, because really, if you work it right, you pay the $300 deposit, and then if you earn enough Success Club points, which everyone is capable of doing, that's all you are out for the trip. And of course, the travel cash and stuff, but they do fun incentives, and you can build your business around that to make sure you earn enough to pay for it. So don't let the cost scare you. When we went on our first one, my first year as a coach, we had just filed bankruptcy. We had not a dime to our name, and we didn't have an option to use like a credit card or anything. And, I was determined to go on that trip, and it truly, motivated me to go. So that's it. Second thing. And then third thing, I posted a new app in the team page. The one I posted is called BB Links, and that's for product links for Beachbody. And then in the comment section, I put the app for for those of you that use the Android phone, and that one's called Coaching Codes. I don't have an Android. I barely can use my iPhone, so I can't answer any of your technical issues. So that's why I always tell people, like, if I can do this business with my limited technical skills, anybody can. You don't have to be super technical. So let me see here. Sarah says, I have an Android and use Coaching Codes. Perfect. Do you like it, Sarah? Oh, and Ashley, just email. Ashley asked about seeing if you're on the wait list. All you have to do is email events@teambeachbody.com to see if you're on the wait list or not. They'll tell you. Let me see here. Yes, Amanda, you are correct. It's Jason Diebold's. Perfect. So coaching codes, if you like to use those, then make sure that you download this. Roseanne. All right. Perfect. All right. Next, make sure you listen to the wake up call every single Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Get on that wake up call. If you can't get on the wake up call, for example, that is right when I drop my children off at school. I drop them off at 8:15, 8:20, and so it's in the middle of chaos. So I can't be on the call live. If I would, I could. It used to be later in the day and I was able to be on it. So I always make sure I go back and listen to the replay line. You can listen to the replay. It's up usually right away, or use the podcast app on your phone. On an iPhone, it's podcasts, and on a Droid or whatever you guys call those other phones, it's called exactly. It's called Podcast Addict, and you can get those podcasts for free. And I would listen to those wake up calls. You've got to listen to them. They're so inspiring. So make sure you get on those. And then make sure that this month you're focused on hitting Success Club and locking in your Emerald. If you're not already in the Emerald, lock it in, you guys, because we're headed into spring break season next month. And that's when people all of a sudden, that even those people told you no in January, they want to wear a bikini for spring break. And they're freaking out, and they want the 21-day fix, or they want whatever else they want, and they're ready to roll, and they don't care. March is a big month, so make sure that you get yourself qualified. I've gotten a ton of leads in January. It's been awesome, and they've been responsive. So make sure if you are qualified for leads currently that you're checking in there and responding to your leads. Last thing I want to go over on announcements is Beachbody did us a huge, huge favor. They gave us a lot of challenge packs on sale this month. Did you guys see that? I posted them all. Oh, you guys can't see that. It's like blue screen. 21-day fix and Shakeology is $140 again. The Kickstart pack is $180. Extreme is $140. 21-day fix, Extreme, Kickstart. And remember, Kickstart just means that it comes with everything the base pack comes with, but it also throws in the 3-day refresh, which is a smoking deal. That's $180. And then size, for you size lovers, it is $140. Size Kickstart's $180. And then the 3-day refresh is $140. Those are all great products. So make sure that you are talking to people about those. I usually try to lead with one. And when I lead with one, and then I talk to the person and find out their goals, and then I get them the appropriate pack. For example, I led with the 21-day fix. After I talked to the girl, I realized that she was not going to like the 21-day fix, and size would be more appropriate for her. So I said, hey, I think you should do size. I think you'll like it better. Because she told me she hated to work out, but she liked to dance. So just make sure you try to lead with a product. Don't lead with all of them. You'll just overwhelm people. Keep it simple. All right, we are going to get into the call, and I am going to, for Kirsten, I'm going to interview Kirsten. Now, what is cool about Kirsten is that she signed up as a coach a few years ago, and I'm going to kind of tell the story. She was going to come in and be, she's like, I'm going to work the business. I think it'll be great. And then she actually went to work for my husband in his company. He offered her a really great full-time position, and she went to work there. And then some things changed, and she came back, and all of a sudden in December, I think it was like December 30th or something crazy like that. She starts messaging me, and she's like, hey, to get leads, I just need to be an Emerald and get myself active. Because you guys, she wasn't active. She wasn't an active coach. She was one of the inactive coaches. And I need to hit Success Club. Is that right? Is Success Club 3 people? What is that? I told her what it was. And you guys, in 24 hours, she had it locked. she had not only got herself to Emerald, but she also had hit Success Club right away. And so in order, she was able to qualify for leads. Then she texts me while I'm dealing with sick kids last week, and she's like, hey, I just hit Ruby. And I'm like, what the what? And she got Success Club 10. And she's just, honestly, you guys, it just blew me away. And then you're going to hit Diamond this Thursday, aren't you, girl? Yeah, she just signed 2 more coaches, so she's going to be Diamond. And she had come to me and she had said, I said, well, I want to see your goals now, because I hadn't even seen her goals yet. She just said, all of a sudden the girl hit Success Club and Emerald after being an in and out discount coach for a couple of years, not quite 2 years. And she, tells me her goals, and she's like, oh yeah, I do want to hit Diamond, probably like Summit or the end of the year. And I was like, no, you could totally hit Diamond by your birthday. And her birthday is February 15th. Well, she just hit that way earlier. I'm so proud of you. And so I'm going to unmute you right now, and I'm going to ask you some questions. Because I think everybody would love to hear from you.
Oh, no.
Thank you for doing this. So first off, can you share a little of your story with us, please?
Yeah. So I met you and was inspired by the business, inspired by Beachbody, inspired by you as a person and mentor, and decided I wanted to work the business. And then financially, my family, I really took the easy way out and thought, I'll take a full-time job outside the home. And I had been doing my P90X3 when I met Tanya, and loving it, and drinking my shake. And I had lost about 30 pounds. And then I took a job outside the home and worked with some, not Scott at all, but some stressors, that were involved in working full time, some really intense stressors and some long hours, and ended up gaining back about 50 pounds over the span of about a year, and struggling with a lot of really intense health issues. I have a 3-year-old daughter who weighed the same weight at her 2-year appointment that she weighed at her 1-year appointment. She was having BM issues. She was having weight gain issues. We were in and out of doctors and specialists all the time trying to figure out what was going on with her. And my doctor was like, well, why don't you, because I talked to him about Shakeology like a year before when I was doing it regularly. And he's like, well, why don't you try giving her half a scoop of Shakeology? Actually, I mentioned it to him because Scott told me that they did that with Brenna. And I was like, oh, I'll see if that's okay. He's like, yeah, why don't you do that? That sounds like a great idea. Get her the nutrition she needs, because we can't seem to figure out without more invasive tests what's going on with her. And within like 3 months, her health is skyrocketing, and she's gaining weight, and she's able to use the restroom. And so I'm like, I need to start my Shakeology again. I'm like, 50 pounds overweight at this point, stressed out, dealing with thyroid issues and all this crap that came along with the stress of my, what I was doing, trying to do too many things at once. So I decided, okay, I'm going to start drinking my shakes again. And I started feeling better. And then God let me go of my position slowly, down to part-time, and then let me go completely, called me away from the position that I had with the company I was in. And then I was freaking out. My husband was laid off for 4 months at that point, and he's our breadwinner. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I just got on my knees and prayed. This was like the end of December. And I was feeling lethargic and overweight and health issues and broke, so broke. And he was like, work on yourself, like fitness, health, do what you were doing when you were the happiest. And that was when I was like 2 years earlier, a year and a half earlier, busting my butt with P90X3 and drinking my shake and losing weight and feeling awesome. And I know that the entire year that I was gone was totally for a reason. I have so many business skills I didn't have before, and so many networking skills, and just it was definitely a purpose, but it taught me, like, I fell off the wagon. I fell hard and gained so much weight, and now I'm busting my butt trying to lose it again. And anyway, he said, work on yourself, get back in shape, get healthy, work on, and do this thing, work on your business, because I had been thinking about it. And that's when I messaged Tanya, and I was like, okay, I've been drinking my shake now for at that point, it'd been like 2 weeks, maybe doing my workouts, posting a little bit about it, getting some emails from people. What are you doing again? What is this thing? And Tanya's like, yeah, you can do it. Just do this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, okay. And so I signed people up, I hit Emerald, and then I'm on fire. my husband was never, he's always a supportive man, but we needed money. So then I got offered a full-time job, like a week into January, and I had hit Emerald. And I was like, should I take this position? And normally my husband would be like, yeah, you need to take the job. We need the money. And he was like, I've never seen you more in your purpose. We're broke, but I'm all in. I want to work out with you. I want to drink the shakes with you. I want to pray with you. God is leading us in this direction. And now, it's only been like 2 months, but our marriage is thriving. Not even 2 months, a month. And his health is thriving. My health is thriving. My kids' health is thriving. So that's kind of I tried to shorten it, but as short as possible, long story short.
No, I think it's awesome because I think it's important to hear where, you started and then you went into a full-time position thinking that, okay, because you were making good money, working for my husband. And then, and it was not just my husband, and he is a workhorse, I will tell you.
No, he was amazing. Scott is still to this day one of my most amazing mentors, the both of you. Yeah.
No, anyway. I thought it was funny. Anyway, I just think it's awesome that you came back and that you were like, you know what, that wasn't for me. Because I know you had stressors with being out of the home because you had to put your girls in daycare, right?
Mm-hmm. That was really hard.
And this has allowed you to be home with them, and also, because your girls are 3 and 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she still has one at home full time, and and they were, and the one that's struggling with health, and so being able to be off and being able to help her is a big deal. So what? So you kind of covered like some of my questions.
Sorry.
That's okay. I love it. So I have to ask, what do you use like on a daily basis? Like what kind of, tools do you use?
I use the Power of 3 Excel sheet that I can type in because I can't keep track of paper for the life of me. So I use the Power of 3 Excel that was, put in the back office. And honestly, I didn't even use that at the beginning. When I first hit, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just working my business, like kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I started using that about 3 weeks ago, and I've seen major improvement in like the amount of time I have to spend in front of the computer, the amount of time I have to spend every day being distracted, feeling like I need to message everyone back constantly, like while I'm talking to them. I'm sure we've all been there. But so now I use that, and I use a power hour in the morning. First thing in the morning, I wake up, do my workout. Sometimes I do that in the evening. It just depends how I schedule it. But, but get my power hour in. And then doing my Power of 3, returning all my emails. I use your Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday lead, kind of check-ins, your timeline that you've given people to reference. And then I used a lot of the emails in the back office, to get started, kind of all the info that you have kind of set up for everybody and things, in the back office of Team 360. And then now I have my own, obviously, that I've altered, kind of figured out the best way to tell my story and all of that sort of thing. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Checking in to my Facebook. I try and check in twice a day to my messages and to my email so that I can get back to people and get my sales through when they're kind of on fire and asking questions. That's something I'm still struggling with a little bit, is like not answering someone right away when they message me, because I want to like get the sale when they're like interested in signing right then. But I've had to kind of learn, I've worked from home before, and I've had to learn to set those boundaries because it can become consuming.
Yes, It can. I love that. So basically what you're using the Power of 3. You have a structured power hour, and you're utilizing the file section of the Team 360 page, and then just making your own.
Mm-hmm. My Power of 3 is a Power of 5 usually, and some days more, but yeah.
And I will say that if you want to make this a full-time income, you do want to make your Power of 3 a Power of 5 because it'll accelerate your business. I say don't go any higher than that because you're just going to get yourself stressed out. Mm-hmm. But if you're a part-time coach and you don't have a lot of time, you work a full-time crazy job, or you're just looking to make a little extra money, Power of 3 is fine. But if you're like, I'm in it to win it, I'm going to really get this thing going and get a full-time income, R5 is where you need to be for sure. That's what I did when I built my business. And I love how you're keeping it super, super simple. You're not overcomplicating it. And what happens if you have a question or you can't find an answer? What do you look to find the answers to things?
Usually I look in the back office, Team 360, or I'll just go to Team 360 and search in the little search box. I also will look in my back office on teambeachbody.com, and sometimes I'll just Google it, honestly. I do that quite frequently too. I just Google it. There's a lot of different sites that I follow. The guy that put up the BB links or whatever app that you shared, I've been following him for like a year anyway, like on social media, and just different successful Beachbody coaches that aren't even within our network or my network. I kind of do that. I'm not one to ask for help. I try not to bug you more than I have to.
It's okay. I'm just trying to give a new coach that starts, or a coach that has been discount, or maybe had, like you, like started and then stopped and is getting back into it, an idea of how, it's not super, don't make it super complicated.
Yeah. The answers are out there. I use all of the Team 360. And then honestly, if I need anything, I can always contact you. Or if you don't get back to me, like, you have your business hours, I'll just put my questions. I'm sure some of you have seen them in Team 360, and someone answers them within a really timely manner. And I appreciate that a lot. So those are kind of the things that I use. It's crazy with, the way that the internet works. You can find the answer so quickly without bugging people.
That's awesome. Okay. What are you doing for personal development?
So right now I'm actually doing the Smarter Networker by Danny Johnson that you posted in the Team 360. I'm doing that right now. And I just finished You're a Badass, which was an awesome book. I signed up for Audible again because I tried reading it. I ordered it and tried reading it every day, and that was like, I was getting nowhere. I was so slow, like 10 minutes a day max to read. So then I just started listening to it while I do my power hour, just listening. And I find myself probably getting in like 2 hours of personal development a day instead of like 10 to 30 minutes. So that's working really well. And the Danny Johnson thing, Johnson, is that right? Danny Johnson? Yeah, is awesome. I'm like blown away. It's inspiring and I'm learning a lot. So that's pretty cool.
And that's the boot camp that I told you guys all about and posted in Team 360. The Smarter Networker. I tested it out with a few, because I did it myself in 2012, and my business took off right after in 2013. And I tested it out with a few of you. A couple of you were guinea pigs, just to see how you responded to it. And I've heard, from the people that actually started it, really positive feedback, and it's been really inspiring. And I know that you're one of those, so that's great. What is your biggest tip for a new coach, or a coach that maybe just wants to get started and like really work this business?
My biggest tip is reach out to your upline, to your sponsor coach, and don't make it too complicated. It's not scary. Don't be nervous. Reach out to them. Or if you're not sure even who that is, reach out to someone in a network nearby, or check, you can call Beachbody and see. But reach out and actually ask someone for help, because the starting steps are so simple and so easy. And then if you are on Team 360, then utilize the back office, utilize the people involved. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to know barely anything to get started. Honestly, fake it till you make it that's my biggest thing. Is like, people are like, so much. And I'm like, well, I have a great network, in my head, and and then like, get through those first few uncomfortable conversations where you feel like you know nothing and you're bright red, but you're not. And then you honestly do know more than you think you know, and you learn and retain and can sell more than you ever thought you could without being salesy and without being pushy. Just be a product of the product and reach out to your upline coach, because it's simple. It's very simple to get started.
That's awesome. I'm going to ask you another question, but if anybody has a question for Kirsten, you can just go ahead and put it in the chat and I'll ask her. Um,
Are you hearing the kickback from me?
So what would you, now you've given us a lot of really, really good info and I really appreciate it. And I love how you've kept it super, super simple. And you guys, all she's doing is she's got herself to Emerald and Success Club by signing up 3 people, 2 as coaches. And then was the third a customer or a coach, Kirsten? The coach.
To what? I'm sorry. To
When you got
Success
to
Club?
Emerald and Success Club in December.
I don't know. I signed like 4 coaches and quite a few customers, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she's been on fire. And you guys, she started officially like December 30th. This has only been like 1 month. And she's going to hit diamond when we roll over on Thursday. And so I think it's important to note though, that this is her second attempt. And I'm not trying to like downplay that because I was that way too. If you guys didn't know that a lot of you do know that I started the business, was like, I'm going to do something else. And then came back to it a couple of years later and was like, dang, this is such a great opportunity. Wish I would have done it a couple of years ago, but the timing wasn't right for myself and my family. And I didn't have the right mindset. And when I came back on fire. And that's exactly what Kirsten's doing. And I know some of you have experienced that too. And if you didn't start and this is your first start, just know you don't have to know it all. You just start with those simple steps by hitting Emerald and Success Club and use that power of 3. That power of 3 is so vital in personal development. And I do agree with doing the Audible or listening to something. There's lots of free podcasts and free YouTubes that you can listen to because you always got these things going on in your head, the negative voices, but you combat them with the positive, which is the power of the ear. Like, I'm not kidding you guys. I do it all the time. So I think that's, and it shows, she tried to read a book and she was like, it's not 10 minutes a day. Now she's like up to 2 hours and she's not just sitting at her desk listening to personal development. She's a mom of 2 really busy kids and a wife who actually makes dinner for her husband. So, so she's doing stuff, so I think it's, because I see posts of her dinner. So now you're pretty good at sharing on social media and without being salesy, and you're not quite at your goal yet, right?
No.
Okay. What tips would you have around that for people?
So for me, my big platform is Instagram. So I don't know if anybody here uses that, but that's great because it's so easy to meet so many people. The biggest thing is follow people you want to be like. So accounts that you like, follow those accounts and pay attention to them, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or blogs, whatever your venue is. Follow people that you want to be like, read their posts, look at their pictures, look at what apps they're using. I know a lot of people in Team 360 post a lot of great apps. I was like surprised. I think I skyrocketed. Ashley's here. It's still not a lot, but in like 1 month, I'm up to I went from like 150 followers on Instagram to like 1,500. So just by posting my pictures, and I want to be Insta famous. No, I'm kidding. I don't, but no, but I just post I pretty much follow the same rules that you kind of have laid out. I post about the business a little more on Instagram, a little bit more fitness stuff than I do on my personal Facebook page. And I choose which ones I want to share to my personal page. A lot of them, I did start a Facebook, Kleser Fitness, Facebook page that I share a lot. That's solely I can do like fitness and recipes and stuff like that. And I direct people in that way. And I did start a free website through WordPress, and then I paid to get the domain name and all that stuff to be the same as everything else. And I've seen a lot of traction from doing those few things. But yeah, with Instagram or Facebook, videos, Scott was like, you should make videos. And so I started, and I got so many hits on just talking to people. People just want to see you talk and want to hear your voice and see your face and your enthusiasm versus just looking at a pretty picture, because I can only post so many workout selfies and so many pictures of food before people have seen 1,000 that day, but they can really connect with you. And I thought about it, and like I follow a couple of Instagram accounts, and some of the videos on Instagram are like 10 seconds, or they're ridiculous, tiny. You can barely say anything, but it's so engaging because it's like you are actually talking, you're hearing them talk. And people, I've noticed those are like my most popular posts, is when I'm actually blabbing about something I think is important, and apparently other people like to listen to. So that's kind of what I'm doing, just taking a lot of pictures. I take, a lot of pictures of everything I do, and I try and put it together in an interesting way. One tip is, if you do use Instagram, the most popular, like you get the most likes, the most popular, like statistically, filter is Mayfair. Just if there's any Instagram users out there, Mayfair gets more followers than any other filter. And don't put too many hashtags in your actual posts. You can add a separate comment with all your hashtags. That's another thing I do. You don't want to like hashtag spam people, but I have learned that I hate them, but I've learned to use a lot of hashtags, but in separate comments instead of, and it still gets people to your pictures.
Can you,
Sorry, that was a lot of info.
No, it's perfect. That's good info. Apparently we need to get you back on for a whole train on Instagram, because I had no idea about the Mayfair, and I have not been using that filter. And you have a lot of followers. What's your Instagram name?
Kleser Fitness. I changed it to match it was Kirsten or K Kleser when it's the same one I had forever. Mm-hmm. So I changed it though to kind of match all around what I wanted to embody. And my husband's doing it with me. I did sign him up as a discount coach. He wasn't one that got me to Emerald. Unfortunately, I didn't get him high enough there, but he's still on there as a discount coach. So he's doing it, and he's actually, doing the workouts and drinking the shakes. So I kind of wanted it to be something, if he does want to get into actually, he was always into fitness when he was younger, but kind of fell away from it. So wanted it to be a name that we could kind of embody as our family, and the girls are into it. So
that's awesome. Okay, perfect. And then Amanda had a question. A lot of new coaches tell me, and others or prospective coaches, that they have to have a big story or transformation in order to share and be successful. I'm always telling them that's not true. It's share as you go. What few things do you feel you've shared so far that have gotten you the most traction?
I would say sharing that I fell off the wagon. I mean, that I was doing a good job. I did Weight Watchers for a little while too. I tried everything when I was a little younger, after having my first child. And so just sharing that I had lost 30 pounds, and I put an honest post out on Facebook within the last month that was a picture and just saying like, I lost 30 pounds and and this is where I ended up, and I'm human, and so are you. Like, it doesn't mean that once you fall, you can't get back up. If anything, get back up, and you have the tools. And I kicked myself, I share that. I kicked myself forever quitting, because now I have to let Tony abuse me all over again to get to that point where I was at with my fitness. But, it's worth it to get back up, and you can do it once you've done it once before. But it is hard to, admit defeat. And I think that makes people realize that you're human, and I just kind of share that gets a lot. And then, just sharing what I do, like how many hours I'm working, how little, I have to put into it. I don't share, a lot about money, but just that it's possible to do it without investing a lot financially. You can, gain without the financial investment. I think that also helps as far as gaining coaches. But for customers, I would have to say it's just being totally raw, which, you have to be okay with yourself and that personal development piece to be able to be totally raw. But you don't have to have a huge transformation story. I'm in the middle of mine. I still have 30 more pounds to lose before I feel like I'm at a place where I'm going to be able to say huge transformation, but being totally in it, telling people I have 30 more pounds to lose, and being honest about it, and asking them to walk with me and not allow me to, necessarily be above them, but just join me on my journey, meet me where I'm at, and we can succeed together. And I think that really helps people connect and not feel like I'm trying to, pressure them into anything.
That's awesome. See, so for all you new coaches that think you have to wait until you complete a round of the 21-day fix, listen, this girl going diamond in 1 month, and she had lost 30 pounds and came back into the business having gained 50. So you have to realize, like, you don't have to have that transformation story. Inviting people, nobody likes perfect people. They invite people to go with you, and then also be raw. I think that's super important. And I know a lot of you on the call are, have started in your transformation and taken people along with you. Like Shelly is like a prime, perfect example of, somebody that did that. And I think that's really key. So I really appreciate your honesty in sharing that. And you do look great. Like she had gotten a jacket for Christmas and now it's like way too big and she had to return it. And I thought that was pretty awesome. Okay, Shelly asked, do you already have business builders on your team?
I do, and that's something that I'm also really trying to focus on, is getting more business builders. Currently, I have a couple. I obviously want to have more. I do have some discount coaches in that, group of people that got me to Emerald. I have a couple business builders. I have a couple people who are working their business but not meaning to, and I know as I work with them it's going to take off because they have all that potential and they just don't know it yet, or aren't ready to say they want to do it. So I have a couple business builders, but I definitely don't have as many as I'd like. But I do have a couple.
She has 3, and she's a
3. Sorry.
She has 3. That's pretty impressive, Kirsten. Like, just say the number. I'm sure people out here are like, how did you get these business builders? I bet is the next question. How did you get them?
So really, I think, and I don't know if this is something everyone, I don't mean this in I don't know, it sounds a little conceited when I say it, but I feel really inspiring. Like I really just, I know that sounds awful, but I just meet people where they're at and just try and walk with them. And I don't push, and I just talk about where they're at in their life and really try and connect with them on a level. And fortunately enough, actually, the business builders I have are people who are in it, we have that connection. You attract, right, the people that are kind of like you a little bit. I mean, your target market is going to end up being, for me, obviously busy moms, women trying to get their groove back. So, that's been a huge thing as far as like getting business builders, is just walking them through the steps so simply that it doesn't have to, it's not rocket science, and being really open about my journey and just sharing with them, like, you can hit these goals. What are you, currently doing? And really the key question I ask is like, are you really walking in your purpose right now? I'm a Christian, and so I attract, Christians in that way, and we talk about that, and that's really huge for me, is to be able to talk about purpose, because you can be super happy in your job, and you can be making a lot of money, but you can be stressed out and know that you're not utilizing your God-given gifts, talents, and abilities. So that's really huge for me. It's just trying to connect with people and give them time. I have some people, like I was in a diet bet and got a couple clients and I got one coach and a couple customers out of it. And I was in a diet bet, and I would just share about my stuff, and so people would start talking to me. I wasn't salesy, just posting my shakes, same kind of thing I do in my challenge groups. And people would start messaging me and asking about Shakeology and this kind of stuff. And I ended up probably like 5 out of the 10 people either had already bought Shakeology, had a coach, didn't know what they were doing, had a program. So I didn't get sales out of all of them, but it was really great practice. But I did get some, it was really great practice just to like, I'm just passionate about what I'm doing, and I want to help them even if they have a coach. Like one of them's like, I want to order, and they were going to order, and we've been talking forever. And then, my husband says his best friend at work that I don't really know sells Beachbody, so I guess I should order from him. And that's fine. You're going to run into that. But I continued to talk with her, and I was like, checking in with her still about her journey. And then she messaged me and was like, you are so amazing. Thank you for not being mad at me for ordering from someone else, and you didn't get weird about it. She's like, I talked to my husband, and I think you're just a better fit, and I'm going to sign up with you. So, so just not like writing people off right away, not wasting time, but supporting people and just being passionate about what you're doing, not wasting time with people that are interested. but sharing with people who you feel like you're connecting with.
That's awesome.
Sorry, that was super long. I'm long-winded.
With you, I would invite you guys all to check out her platforms. Like, check out her platforms and kind of see. I mean, because you're only going to see the last month, really. Like the last 5 weeks. And so it's the way that you spell her last name is Kleser, and then fitness. So you can look up Kleser Fitness on Facebook, and I'm gonna look up. I have her on my Instagram, but maybe looking closer now because I think that's awesome. And then also you can look at her personal Facebook, but she's very open and shares everything. And Allison, you asked a question about being raw, and I think really what it comes down to is that she was just very open with her struggles to, like, it's not easy. She struggles with, she's struggling with her weight and trying to get it off. And then also, struggles with her daughter's health. And just, she's just open about like those things. And like, I know a couple weeks ago, they had the stomach flu. And she posted about that, So I think it's just being open and raw about who you are and where you come from, and just being authentic and transparent. You don't have to share everything. Like, you don't want to be one of the people that shares your whole life. Like, I'm an open book. So, I mean, I could share a lot of stuff on Facebook, but I have to like kind of hold myself back. And do a positive spin on it. Like, like when when you have a bad, like you do get some, you have a bad day, but if you can't post a positive spin, don't post.
Right.
Oh,
can I add one quick thing to that?
Absolutely. It's okay.
Also for me is, I don't know how many of you are married or whatever, but I'm really honest with my customers about that too. And about just like how Beachbody, me using it personally, not even coaching, but that too, has really transformed my marriage and my health on so many levels, like mental, emotional. So I share kind of about that, and I'm open about struggles that we've had. We've been married almost 10 years. So there've been some struggles and some trials, and we're the healthiest we've been now. And I really attribute a lot of that to, God's hand in bringing Beachbody into our family. So I share about that. And that's something I really feel that a lot of women, specifically women, connect to, because everyone thinks they're alone in that category, or that everyone's Facebook and Instagram pictures of their date nights is like perfect, and they're the only one that is fighting with their husband right before they get in the car to go on a date, and they can barely pay their babysitter. I mean, people aren't alone. And so that's really helpful to share those kind of things. I think I get a lot of, being raw about that. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I know this call was helpful for me. I hope it was helpful for all of you. I would encourage you guys to share this with the rest of the team, and like the new coaches especially, or the coaches that aren't so sure about dipping their toes in. Because it's just an example. Like, you have to realize, like, she started, she stopped, and then she came back. Then she's having success. She's 1 week in, and she gets offered a full-time position with money that will help them cover their bills that they need to pay. And her and her husband decided together that Beachbody would be better for them because of what it was doing to her personally and how she was working in her passion and purpose. And I think that's important to note, because a lot of times we accept jobs or accept things based out of fear, because we're fearful about things. And we want to make sure that, we get the bills met. I totally understand that, but because I came from, broke as broke can be, and but I can tell you that what a big transformation it made in my life within just 4 years. And here Kirsten is telling you what it's done in 1 month. So I think that's super important, and I really appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us. I know I said the call would be 30 minutes, but me, can't stick to the time. So I appreciate everybody, and thank you for being here. I will post the recording up. I'm going to convert it over to YouTube. I would encourage you guys to, let your thoughts about it and let other people know on your team if encourage them to listen to it too, because I think it's a really good call that everybody needs to listen to. So thank you, everybody. And don't forget about those announcements that I made. You get yourself on the wait list for Summit and for the Dominican Republic. No cost to get on the wait list, you guys. Just put yourself on there. Team Cup started this month. Let's rock and roll Team Cup. The new app I told you about, the coaching codes for Androids and BB links for the iPhone. Make sure you listen to the wake up call. Brittany did an awesome job, so make sure you listen to that replay. And then also focus on using the power of 3. Get yourself to Emerald and Success Club. If you're already there, then help your coaches get to Emerald and Success Club, and you get to Success Club too, because I will personally tell you that when I see coaches hitting Success Club and getting Emerald and ranking and Ruby and Diamond, it makes me work harder. Like, it inspires me. You guys inspire me. When I see you guys hit your goals, I am inspired. It's so much sweeter than when I hit my goals, because I love watching you guys hit your goals. It's just like when you watch your kids out on the sports field, and they are, playing baseball and they hit the ball and it's a home run. That's how I feel when you guys hit your goals. So please hit them and share them, and believe in all that you are and who you are, and get in the mindset. And if you're not, definitely do the Danny Johnson boot camp. It's free. There's no excuses. If you can't do the whole commitment each day, that's okay. Do what you can. It's better than doing nothing. Or, just do what you can. And I would encourage you all to do it. Even if it takes you 2 months, it's a 2-month boot camp. I don't care. Start it and do it. Let's make February an awesome month and get ourselves set up for success for March. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.